All right, gang. I thought, gosh, I was gonna talk about each song in between, but it's just me way too long. So a little bonus track here, if you don't mind, because Jimi Hendrix, obviously one of the greatest of all time. Before I studied him this month, I knew a little bit about him. I knew a few bits and pieces of some of his songs, but I decided to dive in and really learn about Jimi and try to steal some of his soul and to help improve my playing. And none of us will ever be Jimi. Of course, you have to play it this way, right? So, gosh, he was born, it was November 27th, 1942 in Seattle, and died way too young. It was September 18th, 1970. Way too young. So, the songs I played bits and pieces of, whenever you hear... you know right away it's Hey Joe. And actually the chords for that, it's C, G, D, A, hangs on the E. What's nice about that, I'm going to put it into my looper. You can solo E minor pentatonic all day long. So forth and so on. So that's the cool thing about that song. What was next? Oh, Purple Haze. Yeah, that starts off in B, and then he goes to E. Or A. I'm sorry. And the cool thing about that, he uses the Hendrix chord. That note there, the sharp 9. Because here's E9. Take your pinky, slide up one, makes it a G, because F sharp is the second of the E major scale, right? It goes E, F sharp, G sharp, and so on. So it's F sharp is the 2, and which is the same as 9, and if you just sharp it one, it makes it G, which makes it that note. So when he goes, that's the Hendrix chord, which I thought was cool about that song. All Along the Watchtower, yes. Bob Dylan wrote it, did it in A minor. I think Jimi did it in C, but then he's tuned down half a step, which would make it B. Yeah, so. But since Bob wrote it, I did it in his key. And if you remember in the first video, I teased you with a little bit of Stairway. Because at the end of that song, it's All Along the Watchtower. So the batting order was Bob Dylan, Jimi covered it, and then Stairway to Heaven. So they're all stealing from each other, and that's okay. What was next on my list? Red House. Interesting about that is, studying Jimi, the only true blues, 12-bar blues song I found was Red House. That one where I was going, It's in B flat. You know. So. So I found it interesting that although Jimi uses pentatonics all over the place, that was the only true blues form song I found. It was Red House. Next was Wind Cries Mary. So E flat, F sharp. Then he does the first inversion of that. Same chords, just the first inversion. Then he goes into C, B flat, F, little hammer on Hendrix all the way, top strings, so forth and so on, and then that solo that I did the best I could on that, especially without a backing track. It's just F major pentatonic up here. Box 2 of the F. Box 1, box 2. So take a look at that solo. It's hard, but it's doable. That's what So that's what I got out of that. Wind Cries Mary. Oh, Voodoo Child. Oh my gosh, what a cool tune. And I used my little wah-wah sound for that. 2 YouTubes I found. One was in Maui. One was in Sweden. Right here on it, it's just how playing it with soul and give it that drive and some wah-wah. So I thought that was, it's just so different. And then of course the last song, probably his most famous, is Little Wing. So many people have covered it, even Sting, and of course Stevie Ray Vaughan. And the chord progression of that is just amazing. So it's E minor, G major, A minor, back to E, did I say A minor? Start over, Bob. E minor, G major, A minor, back to E minor. Then it's B minor, A minor, and G, F, C. Then he hangs on the D for 2 measures. And the little parts in between, he'd play the chord and then some. And so playing over the chords, playing over, E minor pentatonic works for the whole song. Anyways, that's what I got. If you have any other questions, you can email me, talk about it. But I encourage you to study Jimi and dive into some of his music because he wasn't around very long, unfortunately, but man, he'll always be remembered. That's what I got. Talk to you later, and I can't wait to see everyone else's. Bye-bye.